Good morning.
Good morning. This is Meditation Reflections. Welcome. So, another good meditation this morning. A little bit late. We had a long discussion after this one because we're doing some planning for future ones. But anyway.
The part of the discussion this morning, though we may have covered this before, was the process of kind of getting into meditating, because I believe a lot of people will come across the Zen tradition, which is Japanese, and you're sitting and holding still or counting your breaths or things like that. But the goal is to stop your mind from thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is very, very tough to do because a lot of people try it 2 or 3 times and give up.
Yeah. They think that's what meditation is all about. That's too hard. Meditation sucks. I'm not going to do this.
Which means they could miss out on a lot of things. And it's also just, it is an accident of what you come in contact with first.
Yeah. We've been trained or even programmed not to meditate. So
the difficult ones get presented first and you go, oh, okay, no, that's not really fair.
Yeah, no. So what the agenda is for them is not to have control of your own mind. And that's the benefit of meditation, is the ability to control your own mind and emotions.
But interestingly enough, it's not truly a form of control that we're talking about.
True.
It's a form of observation.
Or management would be a better word.
That would be a good word for it. Mainly because then you're making choices.
Yeah.
And it's more truly you, not either the programming from outside or programming in terms of a particular tradition.
Because often our behaviors are not coming from us. We're behaving in ways that we think are expected of us,
right,
rather than what is genuine.
Or you read a book and you use the recipe in that book. Sometimes that works beautifully, but the diversity is not presence because they're advocating a particular line or thought in meditation. So I wanted to talk about the diversity
and the creativity
of meditation.
Yeah.
Because I actually, I'm a long-term meditator, it's anything that focuses the mind on a single point or a single task is actually a type of meditation. So when they talk about mindfulness, which is kind of an ongoing meditation, they're actually referring to that.
Yeah, and being totally present and dealing with your immediate surroundings rather than your mind wandering.
Either to the future or to the past, which are, you can plan, you can set up a structure, but the imaginings about that aren't particularly useful because you can't change the past and the future is going to turn out to be amazingly unpredictable. It always is. So those are kind of falsehoods because now is the one that you can shape and change and do things, and it's the only one ever really available to you.
Yeah.
One's memory, the other's imagination.
So
a
easy, good beginning meditation would be guided meditations.
You find a lot of those online or tapes, and they're a person walking you through a pleasant experience and then turning over that experience to you so that you make personal explorations. I can remember some of the first ones that John Goldingham took. I'm going to do it real quickly, not the meditation, but you're walking along the beach. You notice the seagulls flying. You decide to go flying with the seagulls, so you've just now taken control over it. And you fly up to a cloud or a temple or a top of a mountain or any place you want to go. And then you explore that to see what you can learn from spirit. So it's a natural transition, then giving you power to make discoveries for yourself.
That's a very, very short version because you spend a bit more time relaxing.
Yeah, that is the key, isn't it?
Deep breathing and relaxing. Closing your eyes because you're blocking out the visual distractions, and soothing music because then you can block out the distracting sounds, traffic or whatever, or kids in the next room or whatever.
Yeah, so again, That was a very short version. The other one is I like the meditation to discover your animal totem, which is kind of a journey.
That's a guided meditation, and there is a system to that. And your animal totem is usually found in the lower world. In shamanism, there are three worlds: the upper, middle, and lower world. And lower world has nothing to do
Not the
with
negative connotation of the West.
No negative connotation on that. Yeah, you journey into the lower world and into a field, and you wait for your animal to come to you. And that's, again, a very, very shorthand version of what's going on. So just a little bit of research and you can discover how to do that.
So guided meditations will take you different ways, but they're teaching you to relax.
Yeah.
Allow, and then people go into this time period, but I'm imagining this, and that's not really spiritual meditation. No, imagination is part of the process.
Yeah, exactly. We've been taught not to use our imagination, so have at it. And don't think you're crazy if you get some real far out stuff. It's supposed to be there.
A lot of times when people have asked me about, well, I'm imagining this, I go, that's perfectly all right.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to imagine this particular thing at this particular moment, except that contains an idea your subconscious mind wants you to look at?
Yeah, exactly.
So the imagination is part of the process.
And a useful tool.
So don't see it as bad, but see it as a tool you can experiment with. If you always come back to the same imaginings again and again, there's definitely a message trying to get through. My favorite example of that one is the artist Max Ernst. When he was a little boy, he had a pet bird that died, but the bird happened to die on the day that his baby sister was born. And so there's a confusion between baby sister and bird. And he paints that all of his life. There's always these bird women, or birds becoming women, or women becoming birds in his art, because it was a reoccurring theme for him in his life. So if your meditation or dream comes back to something, step back from it, look at the symbolicness, look at your own history, because you might be able to get more meaning out of it. So when you've got guided meditation, I still use a couple of those meditations today if I really need to spend some time relaxing. You come up with a very nice one, the stairway one. Talk about it.
Getting into a relaxed state, close the eyes, take a few deep breaths, and then start imagining walking upstairs and count your steps. I usually go up 12 steps. In fact, I do go up 12 steps every time. And then when you get to that next platform, there will be another set of steps to the left or to the right, and just whatever direction you want to turn, and then go up another 12. And I usually go up 3 flights. And by the time I get to the 3rd flight, I'm in a different reality. So it's pretty good meditation. And take your time. There's, you don't run up the steps. Mm-hmm. There's no, you can get to a point in a meditation where you exit time. Like this morning's meditation and discussion took like 4 times as long as usual.
He had some incense set that would burn only about an hour, and he went, "My God, we've gone all through the incense." And he looked at the clock, and we've been talking for an hour.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. So that's one of the markers that you have entered a meditative state, is the sense of time disappears.
Yeah. Well, we weren't talking inner meditation.
No. 2 processes,
Yeah.
but we often compare notes and look. Yeah. But those kind of the guided meditation, you get used to doing it. What you're actually getting used to is, what's my process for relaxing into the meditative state, which is relaxed now, open, breathing, all of those. In fact, slowing down. There's breathing techniques that are designed to do the same thing the stairs do, which is count a certain number of breaths.
And you can just choose to not necessarily meditate anytime you want, but you can relax anytime you want.
Right.
When you find yourself getting stressed out or anxious or impatient, whatever, You can do it in one breath. Just go
Releasing.
and release it. And,
But that
yeah.
meditation, which goes through, starts at the toes and goes through all the
Oh,
joints
yeah.
and muscles of the body, deliberately relax.
And now your earlobes are relaxing.
Your face is relaxing,
Yeah,
and those are wonderful. I often fall asleep at the end of that when I'm really tired, and you've relaxed enough to go into sleep or
And
into
sometimes
meditation.
that's exactly what you need. So
The other part that I find particularly useful is once you've done that for a while, so you know what the meditative state and the relaxed state feels like, you then use it. I'm grounding, wherever you want to ground to.
the earth.
The earth, or I'm connecting to the sun or the center of the galaxy. So it's an up and down grounding, and whatever exercise you want to do, ground to whatever you need to. And then as you get further in, you go, okay, we're going to talk with people. You can talk with guides, angels, but the reality is you're probably talking to your higher self. And your higher self is choosing to present in a particular form in order to give you that understanding. If it presents as a devil, it's raising up a particular idea for you. Presents as an angel, it wants you to think about another idea. But it's you, it's your subconscious, and also the highest form of you is the one that always answers the questions. I find that fascinating. But it may shape it in order to make it easy for you. Okay, so when we go in, it's grounding. We're linking to guides, we're linking to each other to extend the energy.
Linking to the earth.
Linking to the earth, linking to the sun, solar system, asking for a blessing and protection upon all of the planet and all of the galaxy. But that, as an ongoing process, becomes something that you can do pretty easily. Then ask questions.
Yeah,
That came up the other day because I usually have a question, or at the very least I go, okay, is there anything? I'm very lucky because I'm clairaudient. I tend to hear as opposed to see and get information. So over time, and this is, by the way, I worked it out as a fairly long time period, I developed more and more ability to hear the voices of any guidance coming through. For you, it's a little different. What is it? What's your process?
Feelings, and I do get visions now and then. And occasionally I get clairaudience, I hear. So, but not so much here, but kind of more feelings and knowings, I guess.
Ah, okay. And then we
So
try to
anyway,
make notes.
yeah.
One of the details is experiment with a lot of different forms, because if you do a little research, you'll find lots of different ways of getting into the meditative state and lots of different things you can do when you're in this relaxed state.
Yeah.
There's not a right or wrong. Reading about the different ones, I just want to cover, dancing is a meditative state. Native American drumming is
Drumming
used.
is very good, yep.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways that get you into this altered state.
Yeah.
Find the one that works for you.
Yeah, the beat rhythm that usually works for people is about 120 beats per minute, which is, I think that's
Baroque music.
roughly double your heartbeat.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
I think.
Yep, I think that's about right.
Oh, okay.
Because this harpsichord music will introduce that kind. But it varies from person to person. Some of you definitely might be, in a trance state with heavy metal rap. It varies. In other words, don't think there has to be a right or wrong. There's just an exploration for what works for you.
Exactly. Do what works for you.
We encourage you to explore it. It's good for your body. It's relaxing. It's good for your heart.
Good
And it
for
can
your
help
mind. Good for your soul.
Yeah, it helps you sleep better.
Yeah.
So I think that's everything we wanted to cover.
Yeah. Well, we could go on and on, but you got things to do, and so do we. So
Be sure and include a little relaxation, a little meditation.
thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time, and blessings upon you.
Blessings.